Pocketnow.
Hey, what's up, ShadeCraft community? I'm Juan Bagnell. I'm the senior editor at Pocketnow.com, and at Pocketnow we cover tablets, smartphones, and wearables, so we're always on the lookout for the newest, excited, connected device, things that expand the scope of how you use data and services, which is why I'm super excited. We're here at ShadeCraft, because we're going to be talking about a Swiss Army knife of a robot today. It's really exciting. We're talking solar power, we're talking artificial intelligence, we're talking audio and video, so of course that means we're talking sunflower. So we're going to walk around this booth, we're going to head out over here in just a second so you guys can see the product. We're going to have a quick conversation with the CEO inventor, this amazing robot cyborgy thing that we're going to be playing with, really cool consumer stuff. I'm really excited to be showing to you guys, so let's start walking around. We're gonna have to dodge some people on the show floor, so follow with us. This is gonna be really cool. Watching people dodge out of the way. So this is the sunflower. I'm gonna go walk up, check it out. You guys see how big it really is? Come on, check it out. Now, looks can be deceiving. This is obviously something that's going to help you shade from the sun, but there's a lot more going on here. This is going to be bleeding edge tech to move IoT and your home products out into the world around you. It's not just like a little dock or a speaker hub that's going to sit on your kitchen counter. We really want to get data, services, artificial intelligence, solar power. We want all of that stuff accessible, easy to use, and out of your living room, which is what's so exciting about Sunflower. You guys saw it's got this cool kind of like futuristic vibe to it. And so we're gonna go and we're gonna hit this private room real quick so you guys can get a closer look at some of the really cool features. This is a really fun corridor, so let's go check it out. It's like kind of like Tron, but not really. And so I'm a robot nut, and seeing all of the advancements in robotics, it's moving around. Come on in. So this is a closer look at Sunflower. So all of the arms that are a part of this sunshade are actually solar panels. And this is going to be a modular design where, in its current incarnation right now, you can see it's got 4 main panels. But you can add up to as many as 8 to really harness the power of the sun. And it's going to intelligently learn about the dynamics of the sun in your location. And it's something so simple, but it's kind of blowing my mind. Oh, it's opening up right now. It's so simple, but it's blowing my mind that if you have a product which tracks the sun to better acquire solar power, it's going to do a better job of blocking the sun on your porch. It's so simple, but that to me is like one of the coolest features about this. But we're going to have cameras built in there, we're going to have speakers, it's going to be able to connect to your favorite service for like a Siri or a Google Home or a product like that, so you can ask it questions. And it's just an incredible display of what we can do when we're putting together some really cool stuff for technology and services. Real quick, we do have a quick look at the connected apps. You can see all of this is going to tie into your current infrastructure where you won't have to do anything new but use the products, the tablets, the phones that you already have so that you can control what's going to be a pretty intense collection of different sensors and speakers and cameras. And it's already a really cool, seamless sort of experience right there. So, who we have here on the side, I had a chance to chat with you earlier today. This is Armen. This is the CEO and inventor of the Sunflower. And we're going to swivel around here so you guys can see it while we have this conversation. So, I mean, right off the bat, I just want to know, like, where did this come from, this idea, this concept?
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you, everyone. Super excited. We basically, I mean, it's just a natural evolution of what needed to happen. I mean, basically, we've been dealing with the idea of shade for thousands of years, and we have smart objects all around us. But why not combine solar energy and some, obviously objects have done that, but this is the first time that a robotic shade that is intelligent is actually going to be in your backyard, that connects you to the Internet of Things and smart home ecosystem, provide you entertainment. So we're really excited. We're super jazzed about the idea. We weren't expecting this kind of turnout and interest in our product, so we're super jazzed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of the hottest products that we've been hearing about on the CES show floor this year, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, we weren't really expecting to find something like this, like a lot of Bluetooth garbage cans and things like that on the show floor, and then this comes around and kind of blew our minds.
Yeah.
So real quickly, can you just tell us, I mean, like we've got camera sensors in here, we've got speakers.
These are actually proximity sensors that we're just passing by, and we can actually stop the object and look at it, but as it rotates around, we've got cameras on board. Security cameras are right here. You can click images with this, so you don't have to take selfies with one hand anymore. Showing it connects to DC power, connects to Bluetooth. Obviously you have your connection with your USB. It has wind sensor areas that sense the wind. And the rest of it is pretty much controlled through the app. I mean, that's the whole idea, to keep it very clean. We don't want to make this gadget look too robotic because it has to be, obviously withstand the weather.
Right.
It needs protection. It's got onboard computers, etc. So it's been an incredible challenge. It's really fun to be able to bring, for the first time in history, we've got enough companies building sensors and things. Well, we chose not to put it in a comb. We're interested in basically improving people's lives outdoors, and that's what ShadeCraft is doing. So
what I was really excited to hear, so your concept about like taking a smart product out into the real world wasn't just taking it out onto your porch.
Right.
I mean, this is really something that you could take out to any type of locale, any type of position. And there have been so many fun, like kind of vaporware solar schemes, I want to say. Like, we can put flat panels and glass on the ground and do things like that. It's not tracking the sun. You're not really getting the efficiency of solar power that way. Can you maybe walk us through maybe some of the AI or the philosophy on how that, from the powering of
Absolutely. So first and foremost, the robotic shade is pretty technologically advanced. It's very specific to GPS positioning. It actually is very connected to astronomical codes of positioning, etc. Gyro, which understands its tilt in relationship to basically various uneven surfaces, even though it tracks the sun very carefully. Solar energy, this is not passive, so like you're right, this is very important because consumers have always thought that, okay, we've got solar panels on our ceiling, you're not really connected to that. But
they're only efficient for like a short period of the day.
Exactly. So first and foremost, it needs to follow the sun for optimum efficiency. Then it gives you, by default, the best shade you need. So we don't need a massive 12-foot surface, right? Because it is shielding the sun if you want to be shielded from the sun. So you sit behind it and it knows exactly where it's going. Then the onboard sensors in terms of, UI, and it's very important because it understands where you are in relationship to it. So it will prompt you to move away when it's actually recoiling. Right now we're not doing that because we're going through the demo mode. Otherwise it wouldn't be moving as we're right next to it. Right. So that's why we actually have to stop the sensor so that we can actually talk while it's moving. But anyway, so the idea is that's another thing. Safety has been very important because we are for the first time putting a massive robotic object outside people's homes.
Right.
And it's very viable right now. So it's really, sensors are very important for safety. But aside from that, the object's intelligent enough to know next week, on Wednesday, winds are going to be at 30 miles an hour, even though if there was no connectivity, the sensors on board would immediately shut it off.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got all this redundant technology built in, which has been a really fun process. So yeah, we're super excited about this.
I got to put you on the spot here. Man down. I've got to put you on the spot here for just a second.
Sure.
We've got devices in the home, we've got microphones, we've got cameras. I think, from a few of the people that we were describing this product to, there were some concerns about how can the consumer manage their personal data. I think that's becoming a very important topic as we're basically in a world walking around with open mics and cameras and everything. So I was hoping you could maybe speak to what kind of data or protection people should expect from a manufacturer walking into the space.
Well, first and foremost, we take security and privacy very seriously. And we realize that it has onboard cameras. But this would be on par to the complexity of how, for example, the computers work in your car.
Right.
It's not like a teddy bear that could be hacked into or a coffee maker. So it's definitely on the higher...
Well, and especially for the recent security exploits we've seen with like smart thermostats being used for denial of service attacks across the web.
So that's very, very important. So there are certain features that we will be announcing that'll be very specific to ShadeCraft. You can go off the grid. You can be on Bluetooth. You can be able to back up your data on the phone, for example, on the actual robot, and then take the chip out first if you don't want your personal information. So there's a lot of things like that. Cameras can be plugged. We'll provide plugs for cameras. If you don't want to engage the cameras, you can basically have one without cameras. So there's a lot of options we want. And this is built for the consumer. And the interesting thing is, while we're designing and building all these robotic objects, we are actually facing some of these concerns, and they're really valid concerns from a consumer standpoint.
Yeah.
And so even myself, with having two children in the house, I mean, I myself am concerned as a father. Right. How are my kids protected? So these are very important things that we'll be looking at very seriously this year as we are making decisions with both AI, with camera systems, etc. But at the core level, the protocols of the complexity of how we're writing the code and how you'd be able to hack, and obviously everything's hackable.
Right.
We know that we've seen that even governments are hacked. So it's not really something that I don't think that we can design, hopefully, maybe someday, but at this point, and that's not our specialty in robotics, but we are looking at experts around the world that can tell us how do we secure this for the consumer.
The best possible barriers.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are really excited about smart home going outside. Can we talk about some of your favorite feature sets within this? I know we talked about a lot, but what's your favorite, Armen?
Well, one of my favorite things is to be able to walk outside and not have to touch anything, and just basically say, can you just please play me some Led Zeppelin, for example. That would be just amazing. And ideally, the issue is that there's a lot of moments that are lost with my children. I know that this is, of course, a privacy and security issue, but aside from the fact that we could be, security cameras interfacing with the security provider of consumers, but on a day-to-day basis during the day when I'm not there and I want to see my children swimming in the pool, I mean, this object, the camera capability, being outdoors, being reactive, how I can twist it and turn it to the direction I want to see my children, see my family, communicate to them. I mean, we should be able to, periscope literally around it. So it's kind of, it opens up a whole slew of possibilities that I don't think people are really, it hasn't sunk in yet. Even, we've thought about a lot of things, but I'm sure the consumers will come up with really cool stuff with this. So.
Now, you were bringing up voice controls, voice activation. Is there a partnership you guys are looking at? Like, is this something you're looking at, like a Google Home solution? Are you trying to keep it broad so that people can use their preferred service?
That's the ideal goal. Our philosophy is we're consumer-centric. So we want to have a very open sort of relationship with consumers, and as such, we have to be open with our relationships with everyone. We want to make sure that, obviously, we like a lot of the opportunities and possibilities out there that are providing AI.
Yeah.
But I think it's ultimately the consumer's choice. I may prefer my own personal, sort of type of AI with a specific provider, but I would look. So we are looking at Google, we're looking at Alexa, and I think this is a great opportunity for these companies to actually look at bringing all of this outdoors for the first time.
It's like those 5 people who are still using Microsoft's Cortana. Hopefully, you guys will get in on it too. I don't know.
Yeah,
it can
that would be
happen,
great.
right? So, because I know we've got to wrap this up pretty soon, as we've got a little time left. What is your expectation on getting this to market? I mean, there are some concerns of some of the things we saw on the show floor. Like, I don't know that will ever really exist, but this is already looking like it's in a state, like you're moving forward, there's progress. When do you think consumers are actually going to take a crack at something like this?
So our goal is to open up basically a specific pre-sale, which we'll announce to the consumers. Our goal is to have the American public first acquire these. Globally, it'll be their opportunity first.
Right. So like Arizona, New Mexico, California?
Yeah.
Where the sun is?
Definitely not Boston. Right? But no, I think there's people all around that like this actually for golf and different resorts, etc. But I think that we're definitely looking at a 12 to 14 month time before it gets to the consumer. But one difference with us is that we're already so far ahead in terms of our testing and all the things we need that we're not trying to see if it's possible to manufacture this. We know exactly how we're going to manufacture it. We know exactly how we're going to get it.
I was really impressed to see it in the state it was. I mean, you guys sent me some, marketing materials to check out. I was like, oh, okay, this looks kind of cool. To see it on the floor and see it actually articulating and moving and reacting, like already to see that. Again, where some other things that we've seen haven't been quite as well fleshed out yet.
Yeah.
What are your expectations, like kind of a ballpark price? What you think, if you feel like you can disclose where that might land?
We're still analyzing that, but it's not going to be an outrageous thing. We want the consumers to utilize and use our product around the world, and we're thinking it's probably in the mid-range of maybe the $2,500 to $3,000 range.
Oh wow!
And but we're still analyzing that. We may be able to reduce it depending on all of the different. Obviously it'll have certain features available, and you can have tiers of it. And in the near future, we're constantly trying to figure out solutions to provide, less expensive versions of our technology. And we have a substantial amount of technology and, patent spending right now. And so we will see what we can bring to the consumer at different levels in the next few years.
So that actually makes me a little depressed, because we just moved into a new place and I just spent $1,500 on a dumb arm with an umbrella on it so that it would fit. And if you guys can hit that like sub 3K, that would have been a lot nicer to have on my.
No, the most important thing is we are really not an umbrella company. This is not we see this as a robotic shade. But if you were to compare us to an umbrella, even expensive ones, we are to umbrellas as cars are to wagons with horses. So it's a completely different level. And I think there's smart technology all around us. And I think for several thousand years, the idea of what you're calling an umbrella has not evolved. But this is basically a whole different category. It's a robotic shade, so we're super excited to finally have the opportunity to hopefully bring this to the public. It's been years of development and ideas, so thank you.
It's some really exciting stuff. Thanks for bringing us in on it.
It's amazing.
I was stoked to check this out, and I grew up like reading robot novels and stuff like that as a kid, so to finally see something like this really start realized for the consumer market is utterly magical.
That's great.
Especially in an era where I feel like we've gotten really comfortable with tech as lifestyle, and it's time like we can branch that out now. We can kind of widen the scope of what we can do.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No, thank you. Thanks.
All right.
And I just bumped it again. Folks, definitely check out ShadeCraft, the sunflower. I've been super impressed. Hashtag ShadeCraft. Definitely give it a look. It has been one of the most surprising products on the CES show floor for me. Again, just for how well fleshed out it is, the combination of different technologies going into it, the portability, the environmental impact on utilizing more solar for our consumer electronics, all big thumbs up for me. And you can catch some of our other coverage on these products and other products, Pocketnow.com, shameless plug. I know I'm kind of horning in on the ShadeCraft Facebook here, but we were excited to see it, we're excited to talk about it, and I hope you'll check it out. So thank you so much for joining us. These live streams are always a blast. Hope the energy of the show floor showed it off right, and we'll catch you all on the next one.